Okay, here we are outside, part two of how you line this tile up to get it cut. So you take the high spot out of the tile so you have a nice flush cut at the joint on the top of the shower seat. This is a real visible area, and you really want it to look as nice as possible. So this is a method that they don't show you. I find the videos that I had researched, nobody shows you this stuff. And it's important, and it's important to know. It's what makes all the difference between a good job and a bad job. All right, here's the technique. Okay, the first thing you do is you see I have this is a shim, and it's going to go right back here at this corner at this point. But I got to find out the angle first. So how I'm going to find out the angle is these two contact points that I've marked here on the side of the tile. I'm going to bring this up alongside the blade. Okay, and right there, now I'm going to take this, I'm going to pull this back against the fence. I'm going to slide it to the blade to find out what the angle is. Okay, now I found the angle. All right, and then I'm going to take a piece of tile, I'm going to create a shim, and I'm going to put it right in there so it holds it, because this tile has a tendency to move. And so to prevent it from moving, you want to shim this back corner. And this is a little thick. This might be a little better. Again, that's a little thick. I can use this shim from the leveling system, but it has a tendency to want to fall out if you don't have pressure against it. I've just barely got it pushed in there firmly, as I do not want to change the angle of this. Okay, so hopefully the shim will stay in there so I can show you this process. Now, so the blade is between the marks where it's touching. So this is the high area, or the area that's pushing out and keeping these front and the back on the joint from being tight. So you do that. And if this wasn't cut, as I pull this back at this point on the blade, you would have a gap between the blade and the tile. But because it's been cut, you see and you can hear that it slides, and it's touching the blade all the way through because it's been cut. You can even hear the slide of the blade against the tile. Now, if it wasn't cut, I would have a gap here in the front of this tile. There'd be a gap between the blade, kind of like it was on the shower seat. It would represent the same thing, because we would have a gap about like this in the front, running alongside the blade and the tile. And then at this point, see, it would start to rub because it was a high area. But now, as you see, I've got this really turned in order to explain to you or demonstrate what that process would be in the beginning. So to start with, you're going to have a gap between the blade, just like you had on the shower seat when the two tiles were against each other at the top and bottom. So it would start out like this, and as you get to the lines, the areas where the tile is actually touching, at this point, it would begin to rub, like it's doing there. See, there's your mark, and it's rubbing across that area because that would be the high area. Clear down to this point. Then as this passes, you would begin to have a gap, and you would have the same thing here. And it will be the same as if it was sitting on the shower seat before it was cut, having the gaps. So the process is, you take the tile, You put it between the two marks. There's your first mark. The second one's faded. The second mark is there. You can see the faded mark there. And the blade's between it. So you push that up against the blade. You get it set. You get the angle that it's cut on. The tile's cut on. And then you shim the gap back here. And then you pull it forward, which will leave you with the gap in the front of the blade before it's cut. And then you turn it on. You put light pressure into on the side of the tile, into the blade, as you make your pass by the blade in this high area. And you'll hear it cutting. You'll see how it's working. You just got to practice it like anything else to develop the technique. So here you go. You do not have to have this type of a saw to do this. You could have any type of a wet saw. Now these are 18 by 18 tiles. So they're bigger, and it takes a bigger saw to cut them, unless you're doing it freehand with a grinder and a diamond blade. But otherwise, for the 18 by 18, 16 by 16s, 20 by 20s, you do need a bigger saw if you're going to do it yourself. And you can buy these used. I believe I got this used for about $350. Problem is the table. Okay, so I have to shim the bottom side here of this table. So I have to put these little shims underneath it to compensate, so that it doesn't want to rock on me. It's now solid, it's not rocking. So keep in mind, if you get an older saw, if you get an older saw, the table could be warped. Something fell on it. Material they had used in the past, maybe too heavy, bent it. Whatever the case is, so just be aware there may be some problems with your table. And you got to compensate for the bad spots like I did with these shims. Okay, I hope this was helpful. So God bless, take care, and never give up. And leave your remarks, comments. If you have any suggestions, please feel free. And remember, you can't hurt my feelings. Appreciate it. Take care, and bye for now. Bye.